Welcome back to the ministerial screening of ministerial nominees right here in the red chambers, the Senate, the 9th Senate in the National Assembly. And making his way to the podium is the next person to be screened, Mr. Aregbesola, Nigerian politician, was the governor of Osun State between 2010 and 2018. Apart from that, Mr. Aregbesola is also an activist. He was the Lagos State Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure when he ran for election in April of 2007 on the Action Congress platform. Now, although the People's Democratic Party candidate Olagunsoye Oyinlola was declared the winner of that election, Mr. Aregbesola appealed that decision, and on the 26th of November in 2010, he was declared the winner by justices of the Federal Appeal Court in Ibadan. Ordered that he should be sworn in as governor, and that was on the 27th of November in 2010. He's making his way to the podium right now and will be asked a lot of questions. We'll be looking forward to what questions he will be asked and what answers he will be giving to those questions. A lot of paperwork with him on that podium, so we're hoping that this is going to be a very interactive session at this screening.
We have the next nominee in the person of Governor Aregbesola Ogbeni, the former governor of Osun State. Your Excellency, you are welcome to the Senate chamber. On behalf of all my colleagues here, we want to welcome you to this very important screening exercise. Copies of your CV have been distributed to all the senators. You can still, however, emphasize and highlight those areas that you think requires some special noting by the Senate. And should you have omitted any important thing from the CV, you are at liberty to talk to those that you have omitted. Once again, you are welcome. I also welcome the distinguished senators and members of the House of Representatives who have accompanied you into the chamber for this hearing. You can address the Senate.
أقول الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من ذل وكبر تكبيرا سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم. That done, and it simply means all praises and adoration is due to Allah, who must be praised forever. I recognize and salute the President of the Senate, Dr. Lawan Ahmad, the Deputy Senate President, Obi Homo Agege, and all the principal officers of the Senate. As I proudly recognize the senators representing Osun and Lagos there, the two states that I have affiliation with, one natural, the other political. I recognize Senator Dr. Surajudeen Ajibala Bashir, Osun Central, Senator Aregbesola, who, when we knew one another in school, was Moshood Rahimi, that is now Senator Aregbesola representing Osun West. My Egbon, remarkably, of the other party, but representing me directly, because it represents my own constituency, remarkably. And I believe in due course, he will do the needful by moving to the best part of the Senate, Egbon Francis Adeniba Fadamsi Osun East. I equally must recognize senators from Lagos. Lagos provided a platform for my national recognition. And I must recognize Lagos senators. I recognize Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the matriarch of Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu family, my leader and my mentor, Lagos Central, Senator Solomon Adeola Olamilekan. We call him Yayi. Yayi represents me were I to claim Lagos, because the largest senatorial district in terms of electoral capacity is Osun West, and my federal constituency there is the biggest federal constituency electorally in Nigeria. That is where both of us, Senator Solomon Adeola Olamilekan. My friend, Dirkulai Adebayo Shinowo, Lagos East. The other name is known with popularly in Lagos is Peperito. I recognize it. Sitting by Senator Oshinowo is Senator Michael Opeyemi Bamidele. He succeeded me in student movement. I left before he got in. But like Siamese twins, we have been working together. He was with me in the cabinet of Lagos. Bamidele Opeyemi, I thank and recognize you. It will not be right for me to stand here before distinguished senators and not recognize the senators with whom I worked as a governor. And looking at me directly are my good friend, former governor of Borno, Shetima, who encouraged me all through my time and the most difficult period of my tenure as a governor. I'm happy to know that Kashim Shetima is here as a senator representing Borno Central. I couldn't locate a particular senator I must recognize who was the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Senator Rochas Kenayo. Okorosha. I couldn't pick him. But I must recognize him because we cannot talk of APC today without remembering the effort the governors at that time put together to broker the ultimate negotiation and deal that brought about the birth of the great party on whose platform we are all here, and we are trying to build a strong United Nation. Senator Rochas Kenayo Okorosha, I recognize you. But it's not the only one. Senator Tankwa Almakura, Nasarawa South, I recognize you. My brother, and a fellow Westerner with whom again we work together as a region, Senator Ibikule Amusun, Ogun Central, I recognize you. Now, to the nostalgia. Some senators there worked intimately with my principal, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. And it was through that I had connection with them as governors, then a commissioner. I look at Senator Dr. Oji Kalu. I salute you, sir. I recognize Senator Muhammad Danjuma Guje, Gombe Central. I recognize Ibrahim Shekarau, Senator Kabir Gaya, Senator Muhammad Adamu Alero, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Senator Egu, and Senator Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe. This done, I must once again thank Almighty Allah for the grace of being in front of you to again let Nigerians through you know who Abdul Rauf Aregbesola is. But I will not go into this without first of all thanking and appreciating greatly the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, for this great honor and privilege of being considered as fit and qualified to serve in his cabinet as a minister with your approval and confirmation. I will eternally be grateful for that opportunity. And I must acknowledge the role played by the leaders from my region, particularly Chief Abdul Karim Adebisi Akonde, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Aremo Segun Oshoba, and Otunba Niyi Adebayo. These are our leaders who had led us with courage and good direction to get to where we are. Once again, I'm Aregbesola. I bring here 39 years of post-qualification experience in engineering, management, public administration, leadership, and resilience, with a huge dose of politics, that is political orientation. And I must say that Lagos provided the great opportunity for me outside professional preparation to test my capacity to manage human beings and resources for the maximum benefit of the largest number of people. It was in Lagos that, under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and a team of dedicated young men, we dared the impossible and turned around the fortune of Lagos to that of undoubted leadership in the Nigerian political space. It was in Lagos that we developed a master plan for development, physical development, and political development that is still subsisting and showing the way for those who want development. However, no matter the work I did along with others in Lagos to bring out what leadership is, it was in Osun that I want to thank Almighty God for the courage, the capacity I had to, in 8 years, use the minimum resources available to impart on the lives of very many citizens of that state. In Osun, in the 8 years that I served, I was able to give meaning to the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy, which is in the Section 8, Section 2B of the Constitution, where it is clearly stated that the primary responsibility of all governments is to guarantee security and welfare of the people. It doesn't talk about elite. It's not talking about a minority. It says the people. It was in Osun that God provided me the capacity to do this. And to do this, we crossed and offended some few interests without any regret. Because at the end of the day, in a democracy, it is the majority that matters. So I'm happy that the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, in their Human Development Index report released in October of 2018, in Osun, the poverty index by those two bodies was 37.5% by 2010. Whereas 4 years down the line, we have turned it around, and Osun recorded the lowest poverty index in Nigeria of 17.5%. How? It's not what I want to talk about. What I talk about is the fact that my credo is that power is responsibility. Responsibility here is about how you impact directly on the people. And that we sought to do, and God permitted us to have impact on the space and people. Equally along that direction, the National Bureau of Statistics in 2010 says the unemployment rate in 2010 that we met was 17.2%. And by 2017, Osun's unemployment was 5.3%, the second lowest in Nigeria. Out of school children reduced from 12.8% in 2011 to 10.5% in 2016, according to UNICEF multi-indicator cluster survey of 2016 and 2017. According to the National Bureau of Statistics report on JAMB, because there is this usual misinformation that our educational performance is not anything to write home about. Far from it. JAMB reported and amplified by MBS that the JAMB admission for in the last 7 years, JAMB admission, that is, students admitted to tertiary institutions all over Nigeria, Osun has ranked among the top 3 in the last 7 years. If I go on repeating, according to the National Bureau of Statistics in 2018 security report, Osun recorded 0.9 crime incidence rate, being the lowest in the southwest state. I wouldn't know what our rank is in the nation. In 8 years, we struggled out to deliver inclusive development because our program on assumption of duty as a governor in the state was based on 6 integral action plan: banish poverty, banish hunger, banish unemployment, promote healthy living, promote functional education, promote communal peace. And in the course of that, we deliver 1,200 kilometers of new roads, we fed on a daily basis for 6 years 244,000 school children. Is the longest running program of that nature in Nigeria. We won $2 million grant on Save 1 Million Lives program of the Federal Ministry.
Your Excellency, you can round up so that we have another round. You can round up.
However, there is a point I want to make before I round up, sir, which is important. I must not fail to add that I and my administration faced lots of criticisms while in government, particularly on salaries, which I want to clear. This is due largely to ignorance and partly to mischief. By 2014, our nation was in distress. I won't go into the details, no. And virtually all the states of Nigeria had some challenges with salaries. But we came up in Osun with an innovative approach which ensured that there was no month that any public servant in our state was without a salary. How? We ensured between July of 2015 and July of 2018, let's be clear on this, that public servants on level 1 to 7, and they constitute about 72% of the public servants in the state, and their full pay. And not only the active public servants, equally passive public servants, that is pensioners, who are left and were between the salary scale of level 1 to 7. According to the belief that every civil servant in Osun was on 50%, that is not true. Secondly, public servants on level 10 to 12 had 75% of their salary between July of 2015 and 2018, July, while those on level 12 and above, public servants, including political office holders, and 50%. Before I left, we had cleared some of the arrears, and I'm happy that my successor is still clearing the arrears. So, Mr. President, as I'm rounding up, I wish to say that you have before you a Nigerian that has been tested in all round of human endeavor and is willing and ready to serve. I thank you.
Senators Anayoro Sokorocha, Theodi Oji, and Hassan Mohammed Gusau. In that order, please.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, when the great philosopher Emerson said, and I quote, "Power is a trust which can only be justified when used for the benefit of the common man." When he was saying that, he was talking about Rauf Aregbesola. And if there's one aspect among the nominees who can look at the Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because no man is perfect, and peradventure Mr. President makes any mistake in any decision, this man will tell him, just like I would do.
Only two of you.
He was a colleague, one that loves this country and prays for this country. The coming of Rauf into the Executive Council is indeed a blessing. As a colleague, we never agreed on many issues. We didn't agree on many issues as a colleague, but principles brought us together. I remember vividly, as their chairman himself, Oshimole.
Yes?
Please.
You are protected. You have the protection of the chair.
Himself, the governor of Kaduna, Erufai, Oshimole, that all of you know about. and most of the governors, he particularly talks nothing but about the unity of this country and how we can all move Nigeria forward. So my friend and my brother and my colleague, there's a laid down rule here that in this whole country, Nigeria, only senators and women should be allowed to take a bow and go. I've accepted that. And the matter became worse even when they are limited to leader and deputy leader speaking on my behalf against my wishes. Be that may, I want to plead with my colleagues that though this man is not a senator, but he has made senators. May you please, and he's very gender sensitive. And Aisha can bear me witness. For that reason, please can we honor be given to whom honor is due? To take a bow.
Take a bow. Yes.
I so submit.
Yes. Senator Theodore Oji.
Thank you, Your Excellency, sitting in chair. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator C.A. Oji Ochendo, Abia Central. Your Excellency, we have had a pact here, and the pact that I will keep to is that you don't exceed 2 questions, and that your question has to be direct. Your Excellency, former governor, and now minister-to-be, I congratulate you for this feat. But it will look somehow if a person of your caliber and magnitude will come here and just take a bow and go. Because we want to draw from your experience and inspiration. Therefore, I'll just ask one. I reduce it to one simple question which you can answer. And that is the issue of taxation. Today, there are multiple taxation everywhere across the 3 tiers of government. Ministries, parastatals, imposing taxes on one issue. And this does not make for ease of business. I want to encourage business in Nigeria. Excellency, going into the Executive Council, what will be your attitude towards this so that businessmen will be encouraged to invest and we will grow? Thank you very much.
Senator Hassan Mohammed Gusau.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Senator Hassan Mohammed from Zamfara Central. Your Excellency, issue of salaries. During your explanation, you have said you had been paying salary in front. But from the papers, I read many mails, papers, we read that you cannot be able to pay salary for the last 1 year before your departure. Even though you explained, but you didn't explain in detail. Please, can you say more about salary, issue of salary in Osun State before you leave? Thank you.
Senator Elisha Ishaku Abo.
Thank you, Mr. the Senate President, now sitting as chair. Thank you for the opportunity. My name remains Senator Ishaku Abo, representing the people of Adamawa North Central District. I want to join my colleague from Osun and from the entire Southwest to extol the virtues of this great Nigerian. I remember in 2012 when I contested for the chairmanship of my local government as a very tiny young man. I visited you in Abuja, in Ikeja, Jerry Ikeja, in your house. You never knew me. You asked me to come in, and I stated my problems, and you told me to come to government house in Oshobo and meet you. When I got there, I thought I would stay there for 3 days without seeing the governor. I filled a form, you saw my name, and you ushered me into your office upstairs. And you gave me the whole of your salary for that month to go to Adamawa and contest election. Today, through the grace of God, I am one of the people confirming your nomination. I want to join my colleagues to please allow this detribalized, honest Nigerian to take a bow and go. And also ask of Mr. President of Nigeria using this medium to give you a very big ministry. God bless you, sir.
You can respond to the questions first.
I can respond. Mr. President, distinguished senator, harmonization of taxes. My leader, the truth is Nigeria is a federation, and I'm a federalist. You see, there is a limit to what we can do on taxation in the federation. Let's be clear on that. However, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. Where we differ slightly. I wouldn't have loved to go into this because it's going to be controversial. We have left the rich men in Nigeria without discharging their responsibilities to the citizens, particularly on taxation. So I'm going to pioneer privileged taxes for those who have huge resources or wealth from which Nigerians must tap. If I go into this, there might be some ill feelings in some quarters. I won't go deeper than that. I will recommend serious taxation for wealthy people in Nigeria. If that will now translate into lifting the burden on the states and the local government to reduce their penchant for taxes that make poor people still give out of their inadequate resource, of course, I will have been satisfied. So I will advocate a just taxation system that will breed inequality in our polity. Salary in Osun, I want to repeat again, clearly, that the narrative on salary in Osun is either mischievous or based on ignorance. Nobody can pretend that the Nigerian economy did not suffer a huge downfall from 2014 up until when the current administration came in with some palliatives to support the states. Of course, Osun was quite hugely affected. Why? We had invested heavily in infrastructure that was totally neglected before. And I must add quickly, probably people don't know this. Personnel cost alone on my revenue, both statutory and generated, was 60%. Personnel cost alone. There is a history to that. Osun was taken out of Oyo. Before that, Osun provided close to 70% of the senior civil servants in Oyo, and were all asked to move. So,
Osun population is Osun civil service population is huge, but it's top heavy. Whereas levels 1 to 7 that constitute 72% of the public servants, they take less than 1 billion. While the top cat, the fat cats in level 8 and above, who are less than 30% of the civil servants, take over 2 billion. So I was therefore forced to do interesting balancing. Short of retrenching people, I had to constitute a panel under the leadership of Comrade Azan Sumonu to monitor all inflows, all revenue income, and apportion whatever is left to salaries. And that we did innovatively. How? We knew that officers on levels 1 to 7 cannot even survive on their salary if fully paid. So we pay them their full salary, not only officers, even pensioners. Pay them their full salary. I never owed anybody on levels 1 to 7 a dime of their salaries. Officers on levels 8 to 10 had 75% of their salary throughout my tenure. And that ended July 2018, please. We stopped any partial payment to anybody in July of 2018. Don't forget I left in November 2018, but we stopped this part payment by July. We are stabilized. It was only those officers on levels 12 and above that had to earn $50 salary between July of 2015 and July of 2018. That's the salary. On testimony, I thank you. I've forgotten, please, I'm happy that you have reminded me. I give glory to God.
Mr. Chair, the nominee has only 5 minutes left.
Especially to be thanked is Aregbesola Tinubu, who tutored me in being large-hearted and kind to whoever comes to me for support.
Excuse me, please. Distinguished Senators Basiru Surajuddin Ajibola, Senator Oriolo Aderele Ademi, and Senator Francis Fadaonsi, in that order.
Mr. President, sitting as the chair, distinguished senators, I'm Dr. Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru. I extend courtesies to distinguished senators. I must say here that it is paradox of democracy that I'm here sitting in this hallowed chamber on hearing confirmation of somebody who is my leader, my mentor, and my benefactor by the grace of Almighty God. I served under him throughout the 8 years of administration in Osun. So the story that he's telling is a story that brings pleasure to us, that with meager resources, we were able to see what we can do to alleviate, particularly the mass of our people, not the bourgeoisies. And I will say that for those that talk about salary, I stand here to say that as commissioner in second term, my take-home pay total is 184,000 naira. None of us commissioners got an official car, and I did not stay in official accommodation. I served in the first term as Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Special Duties. I was also the chairman of Consultancy Board. In the second term as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. One salient challenge that we have as black people is how do we harness our resources? How do we get finance to bridge infrastructure deficits? By the time we were to get government in Osun, he made it clear. He said, Bashiru, if in 2 years we could not make any impact in infrastructure development, we should apologize to Osun people and we should just leave government. And of course, the month that the government took over, we learned that 1 billion was taken in overdraft before we came in to even pay salary. And yet, we have projects that we need to do. told us we don't have any choice. We have to raise money by deficit financing to ensure that we accelerate financing of projects that will impact on the economy of our people. What did we do? We have two options: to go by way of commercial lending or to open our books to the public and go to the public sector. Money market, capital market financing, and that is the route that we took based on the parameters of the economy of Nigeria in 2011 and 2012. So when, as he has narrated, 2014 challenges came, of all the parameters changed, and then we had to adjust the way we have done. But that did not stop any of our projects. I'm happy to announce to you, and I say it proudly here, that I feel satisfied that I've worked with my leader, with my mentor, and I feel satisfied that when we are confronted about stewardship, we are happy that God has used us to assist in lifting, particularly those people who have never had opportunity of enjoying government patronage. I thank you, colleagues, for the honor to allow him to bow and go. Thank you, my leader.
The chairman, distinguished senators, I want to thank God for giving me this unique opportunity. I don't know if ever I will have the opportunity of recommending this man standing before me today, because he's my mentor, he's my role model, he's my leader. Even though we schooled together in the Polytechnic from the year 1976 to 78 before I left for University of Ife. But it is a common saying that human beings do change. But this is a man I met to be a fighter for the downtrodden masses, right from 70s, and he has not changed up to today. In 1977, we had to do our IT student industrial training. Without seeing each other, there are a lot of placements in Southwest. Only 3 of us out of the whole lot of students from the Polytechnic choose Kano without seeing ourselves. So we are 3 that went to Kano to do our IT. Incidentally, we didn't know anybody there. We have never been there. And we had to be sleeping in only one single room with a 3.5 bed. So anybody that wants to eat dinner will not sleep on that bed. You will sleep on the mat. It's an interesting thing. And where we used to trek from, is it Bonfire to Brigade? Every morning. Later, after 30 years, I was a general manager at Osun when my friend's mandate was returned to him, and he came as the governor of the state of Osun. On his coming, I was surprised the way he managed the state. In spite of the meager amount of money coming to the state, he quickly realized that international interventions could help the state. And he even went for credit to pay the counterpart fund of all the international intervention in the state of Osun. And apart from the fact that Osun State, among all other states in the Southwest, was chosen for rural access and mobility projects. Throughout my 35 years working with international organizations, World Bank, French Development Agency, Islamic Development Bank, and so on, I've never come across a time when the bank came up to say that a project run by a state is the best in Nigeria. By April this year, the World Bank, and I'm saying this knowing fully well that everybody in the world, in Nigeria, are hearing me, including the World Bank themselves, they came up and ranked also state round, which Ogbeni was running as the best in Nigeria. To this, I want to take the privilege of being a senator today to say that Ogbeni Aregbesola should take a bow and go. Thank you very much.
Point of order, Minority Leader.
Mr. President, Order 59-1. After a question has been proposed, a senator writing his prayer may claim to move that the question be now put.
Let the question be seconded, the motion. Senator Francis Fadauns, second the motion.
Mr. President of the Senate, sitting as the chairman, I second the motion, and that the question be asked after my own.
Second the motion, that's all.
So I can go here. That's all.
No, second the motion.
Okay, those in favor of the motion that the nominee takes a bow and go, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You can take a bow.
Mr. Aregbesola making his way out of the chamber right now. Amongst cheers from his friends and former colleagues. And of course, he has been asked to take a bow. It seems to be inferred that asking a nominee to take a bow is a thing of honor. And they say they have extended that honor to him, and he's making his way out of the red chambers as we speak. Now, of course, he did take the time to talk to us about some of the things that he had accomplished in his time in office, and of course some of the successes that he had recorded, especially when it comes to out-of-school children. So he reduced that number very much at the time when he was governor in Osun State. Said the state had the lowest crime rate in the Southwest. Fed 244,000 children, he said, school children, for 6 years, as the longest running project of that nature in the country. Said he has been tested in all human endeavor and that he is ready to serve, and that is a position that many of his counterparts and people who have called him their leader seem to share. We keep talking about how he is a man who is good for the job. Remember, this is a ministerial nominee screening. These ministers, if they do become ministers, are the people who are going to be Mr. President's cabinet. These are people who are going to be working for the country. And Nigerians would like to know if this is the team. Is this the team to take the country to the level of development that we hope to see in the next 4 years? Is this the team? And that is the major question being asked by most Nigerians. We're hoping that we can get Mr. Rauf to answer to a few questions as he steps out of the red chambers, and we're trying to see if we can get that for you right now. Just see if he will be able to answer a few questions that our correspondent Terry Ikumi would have for him. They're making their way right now to the cameras so they can have that particular conversation with Mr. Rauf Aregbesola. Just a few questions on how he felt about the screening process that has just happened, and we'll bring that to you shortly as Terry Ikumi begins that interview.
Yeah. Once again, I thank Mr. President for the honor, the privilege of being nominated and having the rare opportunity to serve Nigeria at the capacity of the federal cabinet. I thank the senators and Nigerians at large. I promise I will do my best to serve the majority of the people of Nigeria. Thank you.
If you had been asked to just take a bow and
Well, I won't say one of that. I thank all of you. Thank you.
Moving on to the red chambers right now.